Şanlıurfa, insanlık tarihiyle ortaya çıkan bir şehir. Bir müze şehir görünümünde, bir abide şehir. Şanlıurfa'nın bu kültür değerlerini yurda tanıtmak, dünyaya tanıtmak amacındayız. Şanlıurfa, öte yandan Güneydoğu Anadolu Projesi'nin odak noktasında bulunuyor. Bu projenin getireceği kalkınmayla Şanlıurfa maküs talihini yenecek, Harran Ovası suya kavuşacak, Atatürk Barajı'ndan alınan su Harran Ovası'na, Mardin Ceylanpınar ovalarına kavuşacak ve Şanlıurfa kalkınmada, gelişmede, sanayileşmede çok büyük mesafe alacaktır. Şanlıurfa'yı biz bir yandan geçmiş değerleriyle, bu Peygamberler şehrini sahip olduğu kültür değerleriyle dünyaya tanıtırken, bu değerleri günümüz insanına tanıtırken, öte yandan da 2000'li yıllara kalkınmış bir il olarak altyapı sorunlarını, kalkınmadaki sıkıntılarını gidermiş bir il olarak hazırlıyoruz.
According to a conviction, life is possible with four things: earth, air, fire and water. Of these four elements so necessary to mankind, fire and water have sometimes been rivals. Fire symbolizes poverty and wrath, while water symbolizes life and fertility. This water is that which defeats fire. According to some historians, the history of mankind is in a way the history of prophets. They represent water, that is to say, fertility and healing against fire. Abraham and Job, both believed to have lived in Şanlıurfa, are prophets recalled simultaneously with water. Man, in order to perceive life better, has made use of mythology and other religious stories since ancient times. The story of Abraham is one of the most outstanding, both for mankind and for the history of Şanlıurfa. This town has had many names, such as Edessa, Ruha and Urfa, but only one unchanging title, and that is the City of Prophets. Job, after many years of suffering, washed himself in the waters here and found healing. Visitors who come by nowadays keep Job's memory alive. It is told in this story of Abraham that water was indeed a boon. Abraham tried to invite Nimrod to justice and to real faith, upon which the king cast him into the fire. But with the order, "O fire, be cool towards Abraham," the fire was extinguished, and on the spot where Abraham had fallen, a fountain of water sprang forth. This source is also referred to as the Halilul Rahman Lake. The Lake of Fish is not the only one recalled along with the Prophet's name in Şanlıurfa. The city of Shuaib was named after Shuaib himself. These ruins give messages to mankind, reaching back not only centuries, but millennia. They are not mere stones, but each a witness of history. The number of tales concerning prophets is big enough to explain why this land is called the land of prophets. It is said that Moses lived in the ancient city of Solmatar, the ruins of which have resisted countless seasons, hot and cold. Only in very few places is history as generous as in Şanlıurfa. In this major settlement of Mesopotamia, known also as the Fertile Crescent, there are discoveries which take us back to beyond 2000 BC. The works uncovered by excavations in many places date back to different periods of history. These finds show how far back goes the history of this region. The Hurrites, the Sumerians, and the Akkadians are only a few of the peoples who have lived in the lands of Şanlıurfa. Following them, the region was ruled by the Chaldeans, the Assyrians, and the Persians. The Romans put an end to the long reign of the Osroene kingdom. Şanlıurfa, which was won from the Byzantines by the Caliph Ömer and thus became Islamic territory, came under Turkish rule during the reign of Melikshah, the Seljuk Sultan. In spite of all this struggle and all these wars, the region became a major center of science, culture, and art. The name of Harran, which comes to mind with Şanlıurfa, was first heard of 4,000 years ago. The name appears on a treaty engraved on stone. The Sabians, who lived in Solmatar and in Harran, started a new tradition. The interest in the sky, started by the Sabians, who worship the sun and the moon, has not ceased to this day in Harran. Harran was known during the Islamic era thanks to astronomy. here is what the poet Ali Akbar says. The stars are non-wilting, coy flowers of the deep Harran skies. Harran owes its real name and fame to its schools, especially the University of Harran, founded in the time of Harun Rashid, trained renowned scientists. There is Sabit bin Qurra, the mathematician. There is Al-Battani, called Albatanius in the West, who calculated the distance between the Earth and the Moon with astonishing accuracy. There is Jebir bin Hayyan, chemist and physicist, who discovered the atom and declared that the atom could be split. Harran produced countless scientists. This city was the center of attraction, with its valleys irrigated by 2 rivers. With its walls some 3 kilometers wide and 4 long, Harran was a well-protected city. The citadel is partly ruined, but some of it is still upright. This building at the center of the city was made of many interconnected chambers. Apart from the antique buildings uncovered by the excavations at the tumulus, there are also remains of religious buildings. Of these, the Harran Ulu Mosque is the oldest, biggest, and most beautifully decorated mosque of Anatolia. Harran is a genuine city of history, with its battlements, its fortress, its citadel, its university, and its mosque. Some of the most interesting structures of the world are in Harran. These houses, built with antique material, offer cool shelters from the burning heat of the summer. When water withdrew from the riverbeds, Harran lost its significance, defeated by drought and the Mongolians, and was replaced by Urfa. Şanlıurfa, which carries the accumulation of centuries, strengthened its value with its new identity as a provincial capital. It is that accumulation which Şanlıurfa represents today. Here we can see all the characteristics of ancient Anatolian cities. A plan reaching from houses to the streets, and from the streets to the center, that is to say, the marketplace. The marketplaces of Şanlıurfa are full of strong buildings, showing us what an important center of trade it was and still is. In the past, the ancient silk and jade route passed through Şanlıurfa. The Han el Barur and Çarmıhlı caravanserais of the Selçuk times show how important this road used to be. These caravanserais offered shelter to merchants. This widespread trading network may also have contributed to the development of the arts. Weaving, known as çulhaçılık, is not as important as it used to be, but it is still a favorite handicraft in Şanlıurfa. The thread first spun on a wheel, then reaches the looms and turns into products called neçek and yamuşak. The work involved in such weaving means hundreds and thousands of rhythmic movements of the hands and feet. Weaving is maintained, and other crafts are also trying to survive in certain quarters. Just like weaving, leather manufacturing is also an old craft in Şanlıurfa. Manufacturing fur coats, or rather coats made of lambskin, is a local peculiarity. A fur coat goes through so many processes and takes so much effort before it is ready to be put on someone's back. The coats made here are in great demand in the Middle East. The shops in the Sipahi market are where these coats are sold. In the quarters around the Sipahi market and the Kazaz Bazaar, there are inns wherein survive some handicrafts, the names of which can be comprehended today only by looking them up in a dictionary. One of these is the craft of Kazaz. This is the art of making decorative articles with silk. Its last representative is Abdurrahman İpek. In spite of his advanced age, he still continues to make braids, prayer bead decorations, and embroideries for garments. Other handicrafts that can be seen in these markets are saddle making, wood carving, and blacksmith work. In Şanlıurfa, there are Turkish baths reserved exclusively for manufacturing felt. These are called felt makers' baths. Sweating at their work, the masters maintain one of the oldest Turkish handicrafts. The wool needed for felt is supplied by the nomads who graze their sheep on the plateaus of Şanlıurfa. In Hilvan, in Karacadağ, sheep and lambs graze on the vast plains, listening to the music of the shepherd's flute. Although the plateaus of Şanlıurfa are inhabited by nomads, this province nevertheless possesses all the characteristics of settled life. We see this best in the well-developed local architecture. Urfa houses are typical examples of traditional architecture. They also attract attention with their stonework, intricately decorated. The trellised pavilions that reach out to the stone-paved streets give the city a different appearance. The considerably lively and colorful daily life around these houses strikes one's eye. The daily life of the people of Urfa consists of many elements which one cannot see elsewhere. One of these is preparations for the winter, performed along with a lot of chatting in the halls. Bonds of friendship and of family are a tradition here. Rotating visiting is a manner of friendship and of visiting peculiar to Şanlıurfa. When the turn comes for a visit, preparations are made and the word is spread around. Then a visit is paid to whoever's turn it is. When people get together at a friend's house, there is a chat, followed by a cup of black coffee called mırra. This is probably where the following saying comes from. A cup of black coffee is remembered for 40 years. It is musical instruments which add color to the nights of rotating visits. While the raw meatballs are being kneaded, the music slowly begins. Another way of rotating visiting is staying overnight on the mountains. Friends who take turns chat and have fun on these mountain stays. These stays last a night or two. Those who go take along rugs or straw mats to lay on the floor and furs to cover themselves against the cool of the night. The most colorful part of these nights is the singing of folk songs and repartees. This type of singing, which is called a hoyrat, begins in one spot and is answered from another.
Akşamlar oldu gene yar yar çıralar yandı gene. Ah yüzlüm, ceylan gözlüm yar, fikrime düştü gene yar yar. Naçar elden yar yar, yar yar yar. Akşamın arasını gör yar, aç barkımın arasını gör vay. Seni bana yar etmezler, git başın çaresini gör yar. Güzel eliden, şirin eliden yar yar, yar yar.
Life is full of celebrations from births to weddings.
Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. İsminiz İbrahim, isminiz İbrahim, isminiz İbrahim.
Celebrations are very important, be it for naming a child, for a circumcision, or for a wedding. He who takes charge of the boy to be circumcised is considered a relative, and there is born an everlasting bond with the family. The wedding is an event which gives color to life. The union of the young couple is also a social union. Wedding days are many days in which tradition comes alive and families are full of joy. These people who get together for weddings and celebrations to enjoy themselves know how to work and produce. The people of Şanlıurfa are hard-working. They work incessantly in the fields, in the gardens, and in the markets. The days that these hard-working people have been waiting for are close at hand. A project which seemed to be a dream only 15 years ago, the Southeast Anatolia project, is being completed step by step. The tunnels have been drilled. The Atatürk Dam produces electric power and is preparing to distribute water to the plains. This dam, one of the greatest in the world, is the pride of Şanlıurfa and of Turkey. The water accumulating in the dam will soon pass through giant tunnels, kilometers long, and flow to the fertile valleys and plains and add to their prosperity. The yield will be many times that of today. This is easy to see even now. Şanlıurfa, as the heart of the Southeast Anatolia project, is preparing for the 21st century. Şanlıurfa, already an important town in its own right, is obviously going to become a metropolis in the near future, given the investments already made. Lying ahead of Şanlıurfa is great development in many fields, from tourism to industry. This development will add to the wealth of Şanlıurfa and, of course, to that of our country. These lands, scorched by fire for centuries, will witness prosperity and fertility with the coming of the water, which brought healing to Job and grace to Abraham.